Good morning. My name is Jason, and I'm with Focus Counseling and Therapy in Daphne. And I want to talk a little bit about grief this morning. It is something that for most of us who have been alive for 20 or 40 years have gone through, and it is terrible. Grief is one of the most troubling, painful things that we can go through, especially the grief of a loved one, of someone that we deeply care about. It is where the moment the loss happens, the thought of the individual, seeing something that reminds us of the individual, whatever it might be, a story of the individual, whatever is going to hurt. It feels like there is a knife, a dagger inside of us. And something else they don't tell us about grief is that grief is not just mourning the person that you lost, but it's also mourning the person that you were before the loss occurred, because you are having to establish new norms in your life, because your life is never going to be the same. Now, people come up to me, like I have clients who are either in grief or are in the midst of grief or are still struggling with grief, and they will say, what can I do to get over this? What can I do to not hurt anymore when I think about this individual? And their answer is that you don't. You don't get over grief, because that person that you loved becomes a part of who you are. And so it's very difficult. So the answer is you really don't. There is no getting over grief. But time does numb. And that's a very strange concept, but it tends to numb the sting of the grief, of the loss. It's almost like that dagger gets stabbed in our chest and the dagger gets slowly pulled out, but that scar is still there. Now, what is going to occur, and in psychology, they will tell us to learn how to cope and adapt with the grief, with the loss, so we can move forward in our life. That sounds well and good, but what in the world does that look like? How do we know we're moving forward in our life from grief? And I want to get very specific here about this. There will be a time, maybe you've experienced this, and if you have, I'm very happy for you, but there's going to be a time where you are going to have the memory of that loved one. Something's going to remind you of the loved one. Someone's going to tell a story about that loved one. And instead of tears, you might still feel a little pain, but you're going to smile. You may even laugh at something silly that they've done. Some of the things behind me are things that were owned by people that were dearly dear to me that I lost. One of them was not even a year ago. And I can look at it, and a year ago, it would make me cry. It would make me hurt. That dagger was still in there. But the dagger's not there now. But the scar remains. But that person was a part of is a part of me, part of my life. So you will get to a point where the loss of the individual is no longer an event that makes your life feel like it's falling apart, but you have a bittersweet joy of the memory of the individual, of the time you spent with them on this earth, on the things you got to do with them, aspects of their personality. It's a very strange experience, but that is one of the ways that we know that we're moving forward in our life after losing somebody. When someone comes to see me in therapy, one of the when grief comes up, one of the first things that I want to know, and I ask them, is, tell me about this individual you lost. What was it about him that you loved so much? And it's nice because I can see a tear turn into a smile, even when the dagger is still there. And that's one of the reasons why I love therapy so much. It's one of the reasons I like helping people so much coping through this, because oh my God, I have been through the fire. Uh, if you are still struggling with grief in a way that has locked you down, where you feel like you can't move forward in your life, you are not alone. We have all gone through it or are going to go through it. There are people that you can talk to help. There are support groups. There are therapists like myself who are professionally trained and licensed to help individuals going through grief. And when clients come to me and go through grief, I can relate with them. I can't empathize with them. And right now I'm thinking about two people closest to me that I have lost in my life, and I don't have tears. I can actually smile and say, I love them. I am thankful they were part of my life. Does it hurt? Yes. Is it bittersweet? Yes. But is it also joyful? Yes. So if you are stuck in grief, if you are locked down by the chains of depression and anxiety and hurt that it can bring, and that you feel like you can't move forward, do not know how to move forward, do not know how to take those steps, and then contact someone who can help you through it, please. I have seen the damage it can do when people do not learn how to deal with grief, and people do not realize that yes, you can move forward. Can't be forced, but it will happen if we trust in ourselves and know what to look for. So I thank you for time. Thank you for watching this video. You can go to my website at jjohnsoncounseling.com, or you can call me at 251-307-5338, and I would be happy to talk to you. I thank you for watching this video. It's a little longer than I like to make videos, but I hope that you have a great week. This week I experienced a week anniversary of a death of a loved one that was dear to me. I will cry, but I will also have a smile on my face because that bittersweet joy will be there. Thank you again for your time. Thank you for listening, and take care.